Okay, welcome everyone. So just finished watching the Sky and the Mystics. And boy, this one came down to the Mystics just missing too many easy shots. They had if you didn't look at the score, it seemed like a close game. But Chicago went out to a big lead at first, and this was a much better game for Camila Cardoso. She was much stronger than she was. I think they were playing Atlanta, and she just didn't go strong to the hoop against Atlanta. And this game she did. This was much better for Camila Cardoso. I like what I saw from her. So Chicago got Ariel Atkins back, and they definitely look better, although they had a bunch of turnovers. But it didn't hurt them because the Mystics just kept missing all these easy shots. It was so many layups and just little bunnies. Too many missed shots that they just couldn't capitalize on them. And Lucy Olson, she was playing well. Who else kind of stood out in this game? Elizabeth Williams was playing well. Both Williams and Cardoso, especially in the first half, they were playing really well. And you're going up against Shakira Austin, but she was one of the ones missing all the shots. She only had 8 points. She was 4 for 11, and that's just not gonna work. And so was Jade Melbourne. She ended up, there was a play where she stole the ball, goes all the way down for a layup, missed the layup, then ended up getting a rebound. And then the shot got missed again. And then the Chicago threw away the pass. They intercepted it and then got nothing out of it again. And that was just because I like both these teams. But, the Mystics are such a young team, and it's too bad they didn't capitalize on anything. But they only had 2 players in double figures, and that was Citron and Iriafin. And Iriafin only had 10 points. So if your second leading scorer only has 10 points, unless the other one's scoring like 50, you're in trouble. So Citron did okay. She's not taking as many 3-point shots, but the thing that I did notice was Chicago was all over her. She was not getting open at all to take those 3-point shots. So, it basically boiled down, like the Mystics shot 2 for 15 from 3. They were 41% from the floor, but just there's like 4 for 9, 4 for 11, 4 for 11, 3 for 8. And then the rest of the team actually shot okay. But, Shug Sutton, Jade Melbourne, and Austin all just were missing short shots, little shots. So Chicago ended up having 19 turnovers. Washington had 11. But the points off turnovers for Washington was only 17. They only got 17 points off those 19. Chicago had 52 points in the paint versus 40 for the Mystics. So the Sky ended up getting the win, 78-64, and they led the whole game. There's not one point where the Mystics even. The Mystics scored 10, 18, 18, and 18 to get 64 points. The Chicago they were up 25-10. That was that big lead that they got in the first quarter. And Camila Cardoso was terrific in that first quarter. And then she was still terrific in the rest of the game. Just much stronger going to the hoop. I hope for her sake and Chicago's that she can continue to do that, because it's dramatically different than what I saw the last game. So Chicago scored 25, then 10 in the second. So they let Washington kind of get closer, but they still never took the lead. 26 points in the third, and then Washington outscored them by 1 in the fourth quarter. But they were, unless they really blew it and Washington got really hot, they weren't going to lose this game at that point. So let's see what else. Fast break points, all this stuff, all the rest of the stuff was pretty much even. Just bad shooting. As a team, Washington, 41%, 13% from 3. Chicago shot 54%. They still didn't shoot great from 3-point land. They only shot 26%. So that wasn't great. But Ariel Atkins, her debut back from injury, She was 7 for 10, 70% from the floor. She had 15 points. So good game I'm sure Chicago's really happy to have her back. And then Cardoso had a double-double. So did Elizabeth Williams. Both of them were very, very good in this game. So 16 points for Camilla. She had 13 rebounds, 3 assists. She was 8 for 12 from the floor, which she should be. That's the Camilla Cardoso that should happen every game. Every game. Elizabeth Williams, 18 points. She had 10 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. And they both had two turnovers. Elizabeth Williams was also 4 for 4 from the foul line, and she was 7 for 10 overall. Onyenwene, she had a nice game. She lots of hustle. 5 for 11 from the floor. She was 2 for 6 from 3. She had 3 rebounds, an assist, and a turnover, and she had 12 points. So very nice game for her. Rachel Banham, she was okay in this game. She had 4 assists, 5 points. She didn't take a whole lot of shots. She only shot 6 times, and she was 1 for 4 from 3. Rebecca Allen, oh wow, she didn't score. I thought she did. She got a lot of zeros on her. She played 14 minutes. Kia Nurse, 4 points. She was 1 for 4. Uzin, she was 3 for 3, had 6 points. She had 5 assists. She had 3 turnovers. She makes some bad passes sometimes, but I think that's just being new to the team. Sometimes you'll make a bad pass thinking someone's going to go one way and they go the other way. So that happens when you're new on a team as a point guard. Maddie Westbeld got in there for 12 minutes. She had 2 points. She was 1 for 4. She got 4 rebounds. And she had an assist, a turnover, and a steal. So good game for Chicago. They are now 8-21, and Washington drops to 13-16. So we had 3 other games going on, and they just went final. Indiana lost to the Sparks, so they have now lost 13. And then Minnesota held on in a close game. I can't wait to watch that one. Minnesota held on and beat Seattle 91-87. That makes Seattle 16-14. So they are now tied with the Aces and the Valkyries, who are playing tomorrow. So Valkyries are my regular team. Us Valkyries got to get that win, and there'll be a 3-way tie at 14 losses. So we got to get that win over Vegas and tie them up. So in the other game, Phoenix handled Connecticut. They started to make it interesting because I was just watching the scores. I haven't watched these 3 games, but Connecticut made it interesting there late in the third, but Phoenix pulled away. So anyway, that's it for this game, and we'll see you next time.